life, love, relationships.
Wait, we're gonna give away all our secrets?
Welcome to the Man Perspective
With K-Man
and the Dawn. Welcome to the Man Perspective, and this is part 2 of the episode of abortions and why men don't have an abortion. But I had mentioned something about my story. I had a story where I had met this young lady, and very attractive woman. She was a model. I ended up getting her pregnant, and then she decided she didn't want to have the baby. And because she didn't want to have the baby, she felt more or less it was because it would mess up her body, mess up her modeling career, and she wasn't really ready for it. And I really would like to have the baby because I thought she was very attractive. I was even willing to marry her. I said, listen, we'll get married. We can raise it and all like that. She didn't want no parts of that. She's like, no, she already made her decision, which hurt me more than anything. But the end of the story was later in life, right? I found out that as she got older, she can't have any kids.
Damn.
Okay? Me, on the other hand, I ended up getting married and I had 2 beautiful, beautiful sons, 2 beautiful boys. So now the question that comes up is, how do you think she feels saying, Dag, I could have had a child, but I chose not to. And now I don't have a child, right?
Yeah.
And me, on the other hand, I got 2 beautiful boys, grown boys, have 2 kids, love them to death. And, she robbed herself of that opportunity.
Yeah.
So she may look at me and say, oh, Dad, you got 2 kids. I wish I had had a kid, Now I can't have none. Ladies, do you have a problem talking to men? Are you trying to understand men? And do you want to know more about men? You need to listen to The Man Perspective
With K-Man
and the Dawn.
I think how she feels, really depends on how she feels about whether she wants or doesn't want children now, years later in life.
Well, she wanted to have kids, from what I heard. She wanted to have kids, but then, after when the modeling dies down, and of course you get much older, and now you don't have that attractive body anymore. Now you settle down, and now you're ready to have kids. Now, guess what? You're too old, or you can't have kids for whatever reason, or medical issue, or whatever.
I can imagine. I mean, definitely not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, the last I spoke to her was a couple years back. I mean, I don't keep in touch with her, but it was a couple years back, and she was like, "Oh, how you doing?" I told her, "Yeah, well, I got 2 boys, married, And I was like, "What? Really? Wow." And it's like, "What about you? You get married?" No, she didn't get married, didn't have any kids, and she said she couldn't have any kids because of medical reasons or whatever. She said she was much older now, so her eggs were. Now that hurts.
Yeah, I imagine that would.
I wish I'd have had, and I heard it kind of like in her voice in the background, like saying, dang, I wish I would have, like she didn't have to say it, you know what I mean? But you can hear it like, dang, I wish I'd have had the kid. Now you got 2 kids, oh wow, And now she's sitting there saying, I ain't got nothing now. No husband, no kids, wow. But I had an opportunity. It wasn't that she didn't have an opportunity. And that's the thing, women are presented with an opportunity. Whether you take it or not is up to you, but she chose not to. Her career. But once that career was over, now what's left? No husband, no kid.
Loneliness.
There you go.
That's what it sounds like.
There you go. And that's what it is. I mean, I don't wish anything bad on her. I mean, live your life. Good luck. But you had an opportunity. You could have got married, could have raised a kid, could have had more kids, you know what I mean? But you chose your profession over that instead.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works out like that.
Do you want to hear the best of life, love, and relationships?
Do you want to know what love, life, and relationship really mean?
Well, tune in to The Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Dawn. But the whole moral of the story was that at that particular time, me as a man, I didn't have a say in whether or not, this kid have an abortion or not. You know what I mean? And that hurt because I wanted to have the child. She didn't. and because she chose that route, she never had any kids
No.
when she could have. Now, of course, it works the other way around as well. I mean, you get some women or some guys who say, hey, I don't want to have the kid. And then the woman says, hey, I'm going to have this kid anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says, hey, I don't have any money for this kid. Or, hey, you should have thought about that and wore a condom. But now that I'm going to have this kid whether you like it or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The guy's sweating like, hey, I can't afford this kid. And, hey, tough luck, you should have thought about that.
Yeah.
Too late now. And she makes that decision. I'm going to have it whether you like it or not, or whether or not you can afford it or not. But she made that decision, and so it hurts now, that she put herself in that situation, and now she can't have any kids, unfortunately. But I went on to have kids, and she didn't. So I'm blessed. I'm thankful for it. But I always sit back and say, well, wow, what if I didn't have any kids? And I would like to have more kids, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind, Did you get your shot in the arm yet? The dosage. The Man Perspective dosage. That's the real vaccine. Check it out every week on The Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Don.
But the whole idea is this. What if I couldn't have any? You know what I mean? And now she's getting a taste of that because now she can't have any. And I'm sure that's going to hurt her saying, gee, I wish I would have had that kid.
Maybe, yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have aborted that child. But hey, get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com. I'm sure there's a lot of other women that's in that same predicament, have been put in that same situation on whether or not they aborted their children when they was young. And then when they became older, they realized they couldn't have any kids. And now they suffer that consequence of knowing, wow, I don't have a husband. I don't have a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity, but once again, they took that opportunity away.
But make sure to keep your headphones in so you can listen to The Man Perspective. Don't go anywhere. After these commercial breaks, you better sit down and tune back in because things are about to get crazy.
It's about to get heated, no doubt, with a mask. You better believe it. We're tuning in and giving you the best, only on The Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Don.
But more importantly, it's just, the guy. Why guys don't have rights in determining whether or not a child should be aborted. If a guy wants to have the kid, like in my situation, I wanted to have the kid and she didn't, and she ended up aborting it. I had no say. And I just wish the courts would look at that and at least give some guys some sort of right on whether or not they can afford it and whether or not they want to have the child.
Yeah.
Some guys don't want to have kids. They have kids and then they walk away and they don't want to be bothered. But then there's some guys who say, hey, I want to have a kid with you, and they have a kid, and then the girl says, you know what, I'm going to have it aborted. I don't care. And then later in life, the guy realizes he can't have any more kids. Now that hurts because he's like, I could have had a kid, but now she aborted it and I didn't have a say in it,
Yeah.
And that hurts. And now later in life, you realize as a guy, dang, I'm still single and I ain't got no kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not married or what have you. And it hurts.
Oh, absolutely.
It hurts. So I just want the courts to kind of look at that and give a man an equal opportunity to decide as well whether or not he can, she can have an abortion. Because like you said, it takes two. It's not just one.
True.
It takes two. So, hey, get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com and let us know if you feel maybe men should have a decision making as well in whether or not a woman should get their child aborted on The Man Perspective. Now you heard our perspective. It's time to hear yours. Get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com.
Or use the hashtag #TheManPerspective.